Right, thank you. Just starting off. So first slide just to show you there is a bit of gold there. So that's just panning some of our RC drill chips. So we've got a gold project in Burkina Faso called Kori. We own it 100%. We've got a resource there at the moment of 1.4 million ounces of gold at 1.4 grams from surface to 115 metres below surface. We stopped the resource at 115 purely because the bulk of our holes are angled holes at 120 metres, so it certainly extends at depth. But the beauty of this project is that there's a heap of strike extent that we're yet to explore, or strike extent on the current resource itself. So there's plenty of shallow gold still available to test, and that's the focus moving forward. We've recently done a deal with a chap here in London called Adonis Pouroulis, who's got the ground next door. It's a US $1 million deal we finalised in a month. It essentially quadruples our land position and it gives us 40 kilometres of strike to test through the gold mineralised shear zone. At the moment we've only drilled 3Ks, so we've only tested 10% of the licence area, so we're certainly looking forward to more drilling and increasing the resource base. The other thing that we've found recently is some high grade. We had SRK out there doing a structural study. We found a cross structure in the shear zone. They recommended we test it, and we did. The first hole came back with 4 metres at 44. We've now found quartz veining in the cross structure that goes for 1 kilometre. We've currently got a rig on site testing that as well. So certainly looking forward to pushing ounces out as we go forward. We've signed a contract with Capital Drilling here in London for 17,000 metres of RC, 4,000 metres of diamond. That started 2 weeks ago, so we'll be drilling consistently now for 5 months, looking to put out results probably on about a fortnightly basis. Just raised some money, raised $2.2 million. Capital Drilling took a cornerstone position in that, providing half the funds. So we're funded to do that work moving forward. Met test work, we've sent some samples to ALS in Perth. We're getting 95.5% recovery across all ore types, so oxide, transition and fresh. And currently, if we look at our valuation, we're sitting at about $5 Australian per ounce. Corporately, we've got 650 odd million shares on issue, market cap of 7 million, a bit of cash in the bank. Shareholders, Capital Drilling at nearly 12%, Ausdrill 7%, resource fund in Australia called Acorn at 5%. Once this transaction with Adonis goes through in about a month, he'll have about 10%. So the interesting change for us, I suppose, moving forward is suddenly we've ended up with about 30% of our shareholding sitting here in London. Just a slide on Burkina Faso. I mean, we're talking about highly prospective greenstone belts with only about 15 years of mining exploration history. So in that period, we've seen 10 new gold mines, 3 now under construction, fastest growing gold district or area in Africa. Our project, Kori, sits out in the east on a major northeast shear zone. And it's an area of transactions, so there's been quite a number of deals in the last few years. Sort of average value of those between $30, $120 an ounce. Our previous discovery in Burkina, Belago, we sold to a Turkish company called MNG Gold, which then vended into Abasoro here. We sold 200,000 ounce deposit for $8 million US cash, about $40 an ounce. Give you a flavour for what we're looking at. So we're talking about an area when we picked up the licence area that had never seen any exploration whatsoever. So no geochem, no geophysics, no drilling. So example there, you can see the area is dead flat. There's about 2 metres of transported soil cover, and then you're in your mineralised material. Here we drilled an auger hole, got 0.2 of a gram in the auger hole at 3 metres depth, drilled beneath, got 6 metres at 25 at 8 metres beneath that. This is the licence area, so our current licence area in the blue, and then the area we're buying off Adonis in the red. It gives us 4 times the licence area, it gives us 40 kilometres of strike. To date we've tested 3Ks and we've got 1.4 million ounces. So plenty of room to go for more. Current resource, 32 million tonnes, 1.4 grams. 1.4 million ounces at a 0.3 cut-off grade. 14% of that is indicated, the rest is inferred. The current drilling program that's underway, the intention is to take that indicated proportion up towards about 50%. So about 50% of the current metres is going to infill drilling, the rest to extensional drilling. That's what the resource looks like. So 300 metre wide corridor, about 10 parallel lodes ranging between 2 metres and 40 metres in thickness, over about 3 k's of strike. Our current licence area or licence boundary on that northeast there, with the ground we're buying next door, we will actually now start drilling that resource extent to the northeast. And then 500 metres to the southwest, we just hit the 4 metres at 44 grams in a cross structure, and we're drilling that as well, and we think that will also go into the resource estimate. And just, we're getting a bit of pyrite with the mineralisation, so we do get an IP chargeability anomaly with our mineralised zones. We've got a strong anomaly in the southern part of the resource where we've hit material between 3 and 20 grams. We're currently doing infill around that to see whether that proves up to be a higher grade portion where potentially you could commence mining. Metallurgy, 95.5% across all ore types, about 36% gravity, very quick leaching, so between 4 and 8 hours the bulk of the gold is leached. And in terms of where we're going to get the extra ounces, so strike extent, so the current resource is the white outline. So the ellipse to the northeast into the ground we're buying next door, and then the high grade hit to the southwest in a cross structure 4 at 44. Depth extent, so there's a section through the resource. So as mentioned, sort of 300 metre wide corridor. You get about 10 parallel lodes, the thickest in the middle of up to about 40 metres thick. Our current drilling predominantly stops 120 metres, so the current resource stops at about 115, but certainly it continues at depth, and we will, where it's certainly thicker in the middle, drill some deeper holes to take the resource a bit deeper. In terms of the regional upside, this is an airborne magnetic image, includes the entire licence package. We've got the resource currently sitting in the middle. Recently we made a discovery called Red Hill, which is 4.5 kilometres southwest of the resource, where we're getting 4 gram material in our drilling. And then into the northeast, into the ground that we're picking up from Adonis, there's a large granite sitting in the shear zone, which is gold mineralised and hasn't been drilled to date. So a priority target once that transaction is finalised. So to the southwest, so this is Red Hill, 2 metres of soil cover, another cross structure in the magnetics. We just started drilling the magnetic highs, and we're getting intercepts like 10 metres at 4, 11 at 3. And we've got the rig moving there in a week's time to do further infill drilling. But certainly it looks at this stage, it'll be a satellite resource to the one further northeast. And there's just a section through that material, so good continuity, both in grade and geometry. And then northeast, so this is a granite target, 10 kilometres away, huge area, so it's a 5 kilometre diameter granite, artisanal workings, and you sample the workings, there's gold in the quartz veins that they're mining, but also gold in the barren looking granite surrounding. So it's going to be interesting to test that area once in about a month's time. So moving forward, it's all about drilling. A large drill program underway, started 2 weeks ago. First samples went to the lab Friday last week. A lab in Burkina Faso gives us about 2-week turnaround. So in about a fortnight, should have our first results out, and the first holes were drilled around the 4 metres at 44 grams. Thank you.